Consciousness and oneness is a state of mind, which is preeminently the best weapon for liberation from our centuries of slavery and oppression. I have reached out to those that have been most open and still could sense me. But most of you just took me for granted. You hold your own faith within your heart, and no one can take that away. I'm a pacifist. I know there are other ways than doing harm. Patience and gratitude are very important to me. What is important to you? And do you know what? I love you so very much. I know about you every step in life. Only very few people can still see this. It is still a fairy tale for many, and negativity still predominates among people. This tendency is now fading with each passing day. It is becoming increasingly easier for individuals to recognize the backdrop and the backdrop sliders. Now all that is needed is the igniting spark, and the show of the dark entities is over. This peace, which was supposed to deceive all of humanity and lead to a previously unimaginable level of bondage, will be dismantled into its individual parts and can never take place again on this earth. What needs to be revealed will happen now. What needs to be revealed for people to know which prophet they believed will be revealed. Like a revelation, what took a long time and seemed to remain unfulfilled will come true. Because a deep understanding of this law, and most importantly, its application in life, can change a person's destiny and make him truly happy. I explained to people that they should not just sometimes remember that the external reflects the internal, and change their thoughts and emotions in a certain situation in order to get what they want. But it is important to learn to constantly live in the energies of love, which will help them find harmony in soul and a wise approach to life. Only constant glow from within, constant filling with love, will allow them to truly change life for the better. These divine energies will serve them as the most reliable protection from all adversities, and will attract good people, happy events and favorable situations into their lives. In the emerging five-dimensional world, time is eternity, without hurry, time pressure, or limit. Who we really are is hidden from us. Our spiritual nature is our only true form. This is why the deep state powers spend so much time and money to make people forget everything. They use subtle techniques to hold us captive. That's where the real magic lies. If you cannot see and/or understand this, you are defeated. Everything is an illusion. Soon people will discover their true origins, who and what they really are, and what is actually going on now. It took almost 2 centuries for human consciousness to begin to understand what is really going on. As the understanding arises little by little about what is really going on, an infinite range of information begins, providing more and more information about who and what we actually are. I also know when you are happy and you laugh with joy. I always put my wings around you to heal and make you safe. It is important to keep the goodness in your heart, then I become your good faith. I always work together with hope and love. It is a sacred trinity. We all need each other. We need to constantly balance each other. You create. You are your own creator of your faith. You decide. You decide if your faith is a good one. It means that you also need the Trinity. You need faith, hope and love, because this means it is all good. But only a faith in something negative, without love and without hope, it means there are no joy, just a determination, a will, or a kind of faith that is just being a means to do harm. What is needed from you now is that you put aside your fears about the future and that you transform the dystopian scenarios. What is important now is that you live your life fearlessly, armed with the truth and with the light in the middle of the world where God has placed you. To live your truly light life, without worries, without fears, without care, but with confidence, with joy, and with the certainty of a golden future. What is happening now will undermine the entire world and transform all of humanity. The crucial processes are triggered inside the human being to make change in the external world possible. He can change it at any moment only by the power of his thought and desire, because he is like God, of which he is a part. I paid a lot of attention to the law of free will. Many people misunderstood it, confusing it with the concept of permissiveness. To better convey it to people, I explained it as follows. I said that it is based on freedom of choice, which every person must make for himself. Another's will, imposed by someone or someone else's choice, will never make him happy, since each soul is unique and unrepeatable. Each came to earth with its own tasks, and only the person himself, through spiritual work, is able to remember them and feel what he needs, which will help him fulfill his purpose on earth. First, we discover that we are not spirit, but a fragmented soul of spirit. We are a monad, that is, an unlimited consciousness created in the divine source as a divine semblance atom. That is the spirit of truth, our superior self, created in the image and likeness of the Creator, for He Himself is the consciousness, the source itself, which is called God. This is one of the reasons why only 1/3 of the world's population passes the 5D final exam. 2/3 have to retake the apprenticeship on another 3D planet, because planet Earth has begun its ascension to 5D and will have completed it within a few years. The final breakthrough to total liberation of planet Earth comes the moment the mob wakes up and sees who and what the deep state cabal are, what they have done to us, and where they are holed up. The mob must be able to look its enemy in the eyes to convince itself who it is. So, then comes the next step. First your own faith, then comes your community and the faith they have. Ask yourself these questions. Love and hope, and a really good faith, where do you find it? If you don't find it where you live, then you have it in your heart. Start from your own heart and your free will to do good. A good faith would not approve of hurting children or letting priests rape children. Never. It has nothing to do with faith. Millions of people see the grandness. Millions of people see an old tradition. Millions of people just approve because they need to feel a kind of security. This battle cannot be won with an unconscious humanity. This is now being changed, and the distortions of human consciousness are being corrected. The souls that have been turned upside down will be straightened out and aligned with God until a light shines on enough people so that they can make their indispensable commitment to change. Miracles upon miracles will occur after people are transformed within. After the cornucopia of God's grace is poured out on people, everything changes. Dear one, who is reading this, don't be afraid for a moment, because you have every reason to be happy. Live truly and love sincerely, leave everything else to God. And when answering these questions for yourself, it is important to proceed not from practical considerations, generally accepted values, traditional views on life, but to look into the very depth of your soul and understand what it wants, your divine part, and not you as a person living on earth. The answer may come to you as an insight, as a hint from above, or as some sign that fate will throw at you in the form of the right person or an unexpected situation. It is important to learn to catch all kinds of tips sent to you by the higher powers and your own soul. And they are always present in the life of every person. Always listen to your intuition, which is the voice of your soul. She is always with you, always at hand. And if you are able to establish a dialogue with her, then your life will take on a completely different meaning. You are connected with God who will guide you through life. I always gave as many real-life examples as possible and asked people at my meetings to tell their own stories that supported my words. For me, children are sacred. For me, no one must hurt a child and then call it in the name of God or in my kind of faith. They use God and me as an excuse to do harm. This is pure evil. This is how faith is being kidnapped and used. It is no better than a masquerade. You just choose a costume and everyone buys into who you say you are and asks no questions. Please, I want you to follow your heart. Please, I want you to protect all the children. They are innocent. Please, I would like for you to ask a lot of questions and never be afraid of doing so. Please be wild and be honest and follow your heart and do good with your faith, hope and love that you have in your heart. It is time for the masquerade to be over. No one should be seen as a pop star in a cloak and behind the scenes horrible acts are happening. You have your church already. It is your heart and your body. You don't really need the biggest building ever built to find your faith.